Hey yo, what's good, all you cool cats and kittens? Are you ready to make some changes to your game for Madden 21? Are you ready to elevate yourself to the next level? If so, scroll down in that description area and hit that Discord link labeled Trusted Gaming. Here you're going to find family and friends who are just ready to share tips and tricks. We're going to have tournaments, giveaways, and many more things to help you elevate your game. And while you're at it, if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button for me. I'd really appreciate it, my guy. While this is never expected of you, it will always be appreciated. Thank you. All right, guys, let's move over to the blackboard. On the blackboard, what we're going to see is a game plan. The game plan that we're going to put together is going to be our lesson. The lesson that we're going to cover is Madden 21's MUT team. So this is the future MUT team that I would like to put together for myself. The game mode, I put Muthead, muthead.com. So that's where I'm going to go to show you what type of team I would like to put together. The outcome, TSWL, always stands for the student will learn. So what I'm hoping to get out of this is that the student will learn my future intentions for Madden Budget Squad. I usually don't do a budget squad, but this year I might do a budget squad just because I want to give it a test. The procedures is just a step-by-step guide on each player. So why I'm choosing each player, what's the significance of each one to me. The assessment is a peer observation. The peer is going to leave a comment about what they think about my team, but not only what you think about my team, what type of team do you see yourself building? That's what I'm really interested in. Hopefully we can all have different types of players and not always using the same players. In the accommodations section, you should see at Madden's discretion, which is kind of what I was covering just now. Madden has a sneaky way of always trying to force players on us. So like you might have to use a Torrey Holt because really Torrey Holt is the best receiver. And then they might stick you with an Eric Dickerson like they did last year because Eric was just OP and you had really no choice but to use Dickerson. So at Madden's discretion just means, if it's the best card, it's the best card. There's really nothing you can do about it. And then the GLE and standards on the bottom is a physical education that we're going to learn today. And then the numbers represent where you're at in the standard. So the first number is going to be how hard is the material. If the number is smaller, then the material is a little bit easier to cover. And then the second number is usually a school year is broken down into 4 parts, 4 quarters, if you will. So the lower the number, the closer you are to the beginning of the year. So 1.1 would be like a first grade on the first semester of school. So we'll adjust the level based off of the content. Let's head on over to muthead.com and go into the Teambuilder section. I've already kind of placed my team together. On this site, what I did first is put together the big uglies. All right. The left tackle's Teron Armstead. Always going to be on my team, but usually not the best player, so he's not going to be the actual in-game product for me. Left guard, center, right guard. I'm just going to go with whoever's the best card at the time. No real plans. But Larry Allen and Zach Martin usually contend for the best cards in that specific spot. Right tackle's Ryan Ramczyk. He's always on my team. Usually a starter. I know Dan Dierdorf usually gets a card. He's usually one there. At tight end, most people have a Kittle. You got a Kittle, a Gonzalez. Those are some of the top cards. Gronk. But I put Sharp up there because I'm not sure if you guys used Shannon Sharp last year. If you didn't, maybe check him out this year. I thought he was a great budget card. He had good hands and good enough speed to get the job done. So Sharp is definitely somebody I'm going to look at this year. I'm going to go to wide receiver next. Love this position. Love that we got 5 of them. Randy Moss is always going to be on my team as long as he's in the game. He's a fan favorite for me. Maybe not the 1 position. Sometimes he's the 2. Last year he was the 2 with Torrey Holt. OBJ's always on my team. Of course, an LSU guy. So I'm going to always take a look at picking him up. In the slot, we got Tyreek Hill. Hill's an up and down card. Most of the time, he's one of the fastest cards. He usually just hurts on the hand side. So sometimes I'll move OBJ into the slot and take Hill out. It really depends on how that Hill card is playing at the time. Michael Thomas is a card that I know does not show up on everybody's list, mainly because of speed. This is one of the things I wish the developers would change up a little bit. Making cards that are just a little bit too slow makes it really difficult on people to use cards. I was listening to actual CC, and he mentioned that he thought he made a little jab at Michael Thomas, and that he basically only shows up on Saints cards. And the truth is, he's correct. I mean, who wants to use a card? I think I saw his 88 card for Madden 21 is going to have 83 speed on an 88 card. I mean, it's just too slow. And then my fifth receiver, we got DJ Chark, also another LSU guy. For those of y'all who don't know much about DJ Chark, he's a blazer, but he's also starting to come up. So I want to take a good look at him this year and see if maybe he gets a little bit better cards early on to fall into that budget squad. Quarterback, Drew Brees and Joe Burrow, LSU Saints guy, of course. So it makes sense I put them there. But let's be honest, we all know that's not the card that's actually going to be there at the time. It's going to be whatever your meta card is. And same thing with running back where Walter Payton's at. It's going to be your meta card. So it may be Lamar Jackson. It may be Steve Young. It may be Patrick Mahomes. These are the cards that are definitely going to be at the number one spot. Running backs, I put Kamara and Clyde Edwards, Saints, LSU guys again on the bottom. But the top card, I got Walter Payton, but really that's a card that is going to be Eric Dickerson. It's going to be whoever, EA decides that we need to play with this year. So Walter Payton's just a card on the top. I really like Sweetness, but that's going to be whoever's the best card at the time, whether it's Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen, whoever. Fullback position, I'm a big Okoye fan. Nigerian Nightmare definitely lays the hurt on people. And then Zach Line wrapping it out at fullback. Let's move over to defense. I'm going to start with the safeties. Honestly, Jamal Adams and Sean Taylor will always be on my team, and they're always going to be my 1-2 punch. I don't really switch it up at all. Those are the two guys I want. Jamal Adams started over Pat Tillman for me almost all year long. Didn't really care about his overall. Whatever his card is, that's probably the guy that I'm going to go there. I also put Ronnie Lott because I like his hard-hitting style. Tyrann Matthew, another one that I look at free safety. And then I put Ken Houston as my backup strong safety. I'm not sure if you guys used Ken Houston at safety last year, but he was a beast. I had a friend talk me into it, and I probably should have listened sooner. The card is really kind of like the Shannon Sharp. It's a pretty magical card last year, so I'm going to be looking at him. Maybe he falls in my budget squad early in the year. He definitely won't be on my lineup at the end of the year, but early on, definitely a card I'm looking at. Left outside linebacker, I only run one personally. I don't typically have a backup. So I put Khalil Mack and Von Miller because I'm going to get one or the other. Whichever one falls into the price range that I'm looking to pay for, and whichever one gets the upgrades that I'm looking for at that time, that's the card I'm going to go with. On the right outside, typically only run one there too. And the reason is because I usually use my backup middle linebackers in the backup positions for outside linebackers. So, years past, Lawrence Taylor, I don't think they make a better card than that. So Lawrence Taylor's my backup. Caleb Von Chason is just a budget card that I would plug in. Just another LSU guy. Same thing as Patrick Queen. Deion Jones is another card that I always usually start the year with. Deion usually comes with a lot of speed. And, speed in middle linebacker may be super important this year, especially if they nerf the speed of our guys. So Devin White, Patrick Queen, Deion Jones are kind of my speed guys. I love me some Patrick Willis, but I have to tell you, that card's also reserved for whatever card's the best card at the time. Ray Lewis usually gets a nice card. It may be a Urlacher. It may be a Luke Kuechly. So that card's kind of a reserve spot for whatever that meta card is at the time. This part right here is probably my favorite part. It's also where I start building my team first. I'm not sure about you guys and how you do it, but comment in the comments down below. Make a comment. Let me know what it is that you do first. I typically like to tie down my defensive line. Daniil Hunter, left defensive end, is a freak of nature. Long arms, super fast, pass rusher. Warren Sapp is a card that I always look at. Of course, that's an end-of-the-year card. And I usually run with Sheldon Rankins pretty much all year, despite his card not being up to par with some of the better cards. I don't put a lot of focus in at the middle D-tackle spot, but I do upgrade him eventually. And then on the right end, I always try and find a way to get Aaron Donald. I mean, that guy's just a monster and deserves to be one of the best cards. Marcus Davenport is very similar to Daniil Hunter. So, I got to get that Saints chemistry going. So him and Sheldon Rankins, to kind of help things with that. Cornerback position is probably my favorite position on the field. I do mine a little different than most people. I typically don't go after all of the highest rated cards. I kind of like the cards that I like on that position. So, Patrick Peterson, Pat Pete, Trey White, LSU guys, love their man coverage skills. Marshawn Lattimore, another man coverage guy. So I like to go with those three guys, which I usually run a lot of nickels. So those three are very important to me. Tracy Porter was a card that came on last year. I really started enjoying playing with him. And then Greedy's just a budget card that I have at the end of the lineup. I don't expect much from that spot. That's kind of an open spot for whatever that card is that maybe I stumbled across that is playing out of its mind or whatever. I'm going to scroll down a little bit further just to show you. I did not set up a kick return, special team, or head coach. Obviously, I do kick return as special teams, punt returns and stuff like that. That's all your speed guys. And then your coach is going to be whatever team you like. That's going to be your coach. And then for me, it's Sean Payton. And then, we all obviously work for John Madden. So this is my team builder that I kind of set up for Madden 21. Kind of a progression of what I can see happening towards the end of the year with my team. If you want to hit the comment section down below and kind of let me know how you build your team, you can critique mine, that's fine. But really, I kind of want to know how you guys like to set your team up that might be different from mine. Maybe you don't do defensive line and corners first. Maybe you go get a quarterback and running back. Just let me know in the comments below. I'm real curious to see how many people do this. But I appreciate y'all tuning into this section of my MUT team builder Madden 21 fantasy team. If you stayed to the end, just want to give a big thank you for watching another Big Head Productions.